I'm proud of our fight, the toughness that we showed, our ability to stay together. Our bench was really engaged in every timeout and in every huddle. We were all engaged.
How do you break 6 records in a single night and still walk away with a loss? That's the agonizing reality Caitlin Clark faced after one of the most electrifying performances in WNBA history. On paper, it looked like a game for the ages. The scoreboard told another story. A 91-90 defeat against the Atlanta Dream that felt like a punch to the gut. Not just to the team, but to everyone watching.
Dug themselves into an early hole here. Clark looking to get going. Oh, that's a deep three!
It wasn't just a regular season loss. This was supposed to be a statement game. Clark didn't just perform, she dominated, hitting shots from the logo, dishing out assists like a seasoned veteran, and leading a relentless comeback effort that kept Indiana in striking distance. But when the final buzzer sounded, it wasn't her name lighting up the win column. It was Atlanta's, and the disappointment on Clark's face said everything. 6 broken records, and still, somehow, not enough.
Yes, this stinks. We want to win this game. But, I think this is great for our team. A little adversity. How are we going to respond? How are we going to come in here tomorrow morning and watch the film and learn and get on the court and get better? And like I said, that's why this league is so great. You have a couple days and then you get right back to it. You find a way to respond. We have a chance to go there and play them, actually. So it's even better, I guess. We can, get a little redemption if we go down there and play well.
The Fever had clawed their way back from multiple double-digit deficits, showing a kind of grit that usually flips the narrative. But the win never came. It's the kind of loss that sticks with you, not just because of the score, but because of how close it was, because of how much was poured into it, because one more bucket, one more stop, one more whistle, any of those things could have changed the outcome.
Honestly, I give my team a lot of credit, my teammates a lot of credit. We never gave up. We fought. We were right there. We found a way to get back in it. When things didn't seem very good for this group, at least we stayed together and we kept fighting, and that's a positive. They shot 32 free throws. It's a lot of free throws. Going to be difficult to win a lot of games when we foul people that much and put them at the line that much. It's tough. They made 25 out of 32. We still went to the line 26 times, missed 10. So that's the game really right there. It obviously doesn't come down to that, but it's just a little thing.
Let's pause for a second and really break this down, because what Caitlin Clark accomplished on that court wasn't just impressive, it was historic. In just her 42nd WNBA game, Clark tied or broke 6 major league records. 6. She matched Courtney Vandersloot for the most career 20-point 10-assist games, only she did it in 42 games, not 394. That's not progression. That's a seismic leap.
I didn't think we were disruptive at all. I felt like we let them move the ball wherever they wanted to. We had a lot of breakdowns in our coverages. We weren't really helping one another out. We played like 5 individuals defensively at times instead of collectively as a unit. And good teams take advantage of that. Atlanta was really good at getting downhill. They knocked down some tough shots, but when you dig yourself a hole, it makes it really difficult to use all your energy to come back.
She also became the fastest player in WNBA history to hit 350 career assists, surpassing icons like Sue Bird and Ticha Penicheiro. On top of that, she passed Sabrina Ionescu for the most 25-plus point, 10-plus assist games in league history. And if that wasn't enough, she became the first player ever to start a season with back-to-back 20-plus point, 10-plus assist games. Legends take entire careers to build that kind of resume. Clark's doing it before her sophomore season has even fully taken off.
What was the plan defensively for the Fever's last possession of the game?
We just put a lineup up there that we thought could match up. We were going to, if we needed to, we'd switch. If we got hung up on anything, we try to keep it out of some people's hands. And we were just hoping to take a tough shot. And they probably got a shot that they felt good about, but we played really good defense on the shot. We, didn't foul and made it tough.
This is exactly the kind of content we break down here. Game-changing performances, history-making nights, and the truth behind the stats that headlines don't tell you. If you're still watching and love this kind of deep dive into the WNBA's most electrifying talent, make sure to subscribe to the channel right now. Tap the like button so more people see this story, and let me know in the comments, What record do you think Clark will break next? This is a movement, and you're here at the start of it.
Boston continues to show her frustration. It really started a couple.
As if the loss wasn't painful enough, what unfolded in the first half left fans and players furious. Coach Stephanie White was forced to use both of her challenge flags before halftime. Let that sink in. 2 missed calls so egregious, so obvious, that White had no choice but to waste precious challenges before the game even settled into a rhythm. One was on a basic out-of-bounds play, a call that shouldn't require slow-motion replay to get right.
How disruptive were that first half, the choppy waters, the stoppages like Caitlin was talking about, and you guys never really were able to get in the pace like you've been talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's every coach's frustration when you have to use challenges on out-of-bounds plays. I mean, it is what it is. But for teams to win 3 challenges in the first half, I don't know that I've ever seen that either.
And Caitlin Clark, she was visibly livid. Every drive to the basket became a battlefield. Contact on layups, bumps on three-pointers, yet the whistle stayed silent. At one point, Clark threw her arms in the air in disbelief after yet another no call. Her frustration was growing by the minute, and it showed. You could see the conversations she had with refs, controlled but tense, searching for explanations that never came.
Got a piece of the ball, and Clark says part of her arm as well. Jump ball is the... Well, she's just so impressive because it's felt like a relatively quieter Caitlin.
The moment that ignited the internet came not from the court, but from Twitter. Clark's boyfriend, Connor McCaffrey, posted, "Good to see the W refs in mid-season form," a tweet that instantly went viral. Thousands of retweets, likes, and quote tweets followed. The video evidence only fueled the fire. Blatant contact, no whistle. This wasn't just a missed call or two, it was a pattern, and it disrupted everything: flow, momentum, and trust in the officiating.
Just the first half seemed pretty choppy with, the amount of fouls, the challenges. Just how did that affect you as the point guard and just the team's pace as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, to me, challenges cannot take that long. It ruins the flow of the game. I get it. It's early in the year. The refs want to make the right call. We can't sit there for 2.5, 3 minutes and on an obvious hit out of bounds off of them and still not know the call. I get it. There's things to look at. There's the clock. There's is the ball going to be taken out. But that's not the only reason the flow of the game was ruined. But we're just standing there. We're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. And then obviously, like I said, a lot of free throws shot between both teams tonight. That makes the game more choppy when there's a lot of fouls.
Lost beneath the drama was the quieter, colder truth. Missed free throws cost Indiana this game. While the Dream made 25 of their 32 attempts, the Fever went just 16 of 26. That's 10 missed points in a game they lost by 1. Natasha Howard missed 4 in the fourth quarter alone. Aaliyah Boston missed a key one in the clutch. These were not just missed opportunities, they were game-altering.
When Coach White is put in a position to have to use both her challenges in the first half on calls that were pretty point blank, and then we're left with none there in the second half, which, you can pick and choose. Maybe you save them, maybe you don't, but still, every single possession matters. But like I said, it doesn't come down to that. No matter what, if it's a choppy game, we got to find a way to find our flow a little bit better, especially to start the game and start the second half, for sure.
Clark herself pointed to it post-game. "We can't hang our hats on those missed free throws, but as professionals, we know how important they are." And she's right. These are the moments that separate heartbreak from triumph. Make even half of those missed shots, and this entire story has a different ending.
Another second chance opportunity. Clark fire away and knocks down a 3. That is just that signature Caitlin Clark shot. She will launch. Oh, yes!
There's that drag screen.
Bounce it for Boston. Boston lays it in. It's a 2-point game.
They haven't had much of that tonight.
It's hard to criticize a team that left everything on the floor, but this was a classic case of death by detail. Not executing the little things, not finishing at the line. When the margins are razor thin, those little things become the difference between rewriting history and being remembered for a missed shot. And on this night, it was the little things that wrote the final chapter.
different times during the game. Situational defense will be better because they have all those things. I think that's a combination of why they're going to have a much better defensive effort.
There's Clark with a beautiful find inside to Aaliyah Boston.
Defense wins championships, but for the Fever, it nearly lost them this game before halftime. The Atlanta Dream came out swinging, scoring 31 points in the first quarter and 32 more in the third. That's 63 points in just 2 quarters. An unsustainable pace for any team to survive. Indiana's defense simply couldn't stay consistent, and Coach White didn't sugarcoat it. We played like 5 individuals.
The other thing they're trying to speak into existence is 6 or 7 players averaging double figures. They believe it.
Backdoor pass there from Clark to Kelsey Mitchell.
The last season and into this year. Such a great backdoor cut.
The breakdowns were everywhere. Rotations missed, help defense late, players unsure of their assignments. The chemistry wasn't clicking, and Atlanta pounced. Ryan Howard torched them with 20 points and 4 threes. Brittany Greener and Banna Jones combined for 40 points and 21 rebounds. That's not just production, it's domination.
Second chance opportunity. Clark fire away and knocks down a 3.
And then right here. Boy, you've grown to love watching it.
To their credit, Indiana locked in during the second and fourth quarters, holding the Dream to just 13 and 15 points respectively. But the game of basketball doesn't reward part-time defense. It rewards full commitment every quarter. And on this night, the Fever had 2 quarters too many where the defense simply didn't show up.
But like I said, it was just flat. We missed free throws. We missed layups. We didn't really execute. They were physical. And I think that was kind of why we weren't and didn't feel as smooth as we would have liked there.
The Fever had one last shot. Down by 1 with 9.7 seconds left, the inbound play was drawn up for Aaliyah Boston, but the Dream sniffed it out. Natasha Howard had to improvise, taking the shot herself, a solid look, but one that was blocked by Nia Coffey. Howard recovered, got her own rebound, went back up, and missed again. The ball bounced away, so did the win.
I thought AB was outstanding. She battled, for what, 36, almost 37 minutes. And BG and Bree Jones are 2 of the best bigs in our league. I thought she did an outstanding job, and we got to learn and grow from it.
You could feel the tension in those final moments. Clark was the inbounder. The ball was supposed to find Boston. But in that split second, defenses adjusted, and improvisation became the only option. That's where chemistry matters most, when the scripted play collapses and instinct has to take over.
Kelsey and AB and Caitlin have played together, so they have this synergy. And really with DB and with Tosh, how we bring them into the fold, so to speak. And that's a challenge that we're looking into. We're trying to figure out. Shorter stints because it was an up and down game, right? And I felt like Kels, Caitlin, and Lexi were giving us really good stuff, on both ends of the floor. And it's tough when you feel like you're starting to get some momentum to sub. I probably should have subbed a little bit more in that second half, but like the group that was out there.
It wasn't a bad shot. It wasn't a bad rebound. It was a moment that just slipped away. Inches from redemption. Inches from a win that would have capped a historic night. But instead, it ended in silence. And Clark, who had done everything short of walk on water, could only watch it fade away.
It's a part of, being a professional athlete. It comes with the territory. Some nights is good and some nights is bad. Do I want us to make them? Yeah. Do they want to make them? Yeah. But I think that it's a part of the game, and we can't, hang our hats on those missed free throws. However, as a professional athlete, it's important and imperative that we do have them. So we know the importance of it.
Here's the twist. As painful as this loss was, it may be the turning point this Fever team needed. Clark, Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell each had monster nights. Clark had 27 points and 11 assists. Boston delivered a 24-point double-double. Mitchell dropped 24 and kept the offense moving. The talent is there. It's not a question of skill, but of timing and trust. This isn't a broken team. It's a young one. What we're seeing is a group that's still figuring out how to communicate without speaking. Still learning when to help, when to rotate, when to trust the next pass. These are the reps you can't simulate in practice. And games like this, yes, even the heartbreaking ones, are where real growth happens. Coach White said it best. We're learning and growing from this. That's what matters. When you look past the scoreboard, what you see is a team on the verge of something huge. They stayed together. They fought. They nearly beat a playoff-caliber team despite a wave of adversity. That's not the kind of loss that breaks a team. It's the kind that builds one. It's hard not to imagine what happens next. Clark is doing in one season what took other legends half a decade. She's the fastest to major assist milestones. She's setting new records for scoring and playmaking versatility. And she's not even close to her ceiling. Think about that. We haven't even seen peak Caitlin Clark yet. And it's not just her. Aaliyah Boston looks like a franchise cornerstone. Kelsey Mitchell is playing the best ball of her career. The bench energy is real. The veterans are still finding their groove. Sophie Cunningham hasn't even suited up yet. This isn't a rebuild. It's an uprising. A future championship core in the making. If you've made it this far, you're not just watching history, you're part of it. So here's the ask. Subscribe to the channel. Be here for every record Clark breaks, every comeback this Fever team pulls off, and every twist this wild WNBA season throws our way. Drop a like if you believe Indiana's building something special. And comment below, what moment made you believe? Because the future, it's not just bright, the future is Fever, and it's just getting started.